There we go. Now I should be heard. Testing. All right. There we go. Yeah, let's save that change. Let's save that. Yep. Okay. There. Everything sounds good. I know in the past I needed to, or not even just what I needed to do, but what I've done. For some reason, the background music was like super loud. Okay, yeah, that's just my stash here. Yeah, the background music was like super loud in like another stream, so I kind of turned down the playlist, the music going on in the background. I turned that down just a little bit, so hopefully everyone can still hear it. But that it won't be so loud that it like either drowns out my voice or so that, you know, it's not drowning out anyone's voice as if there's like another person talking, so that it doesn't drown out like my voice, and that we could keep everything just moving on smoothly, swimmingly, whatnot, so yeah, welcome. Here we are. There's I wouldn't say like quite a bit of things that we're gonna do today, but I did get some new things. I got new wood. But before we start breaking that in, we are going to finish the wood chip projects that we've been literally working on for like, how long has it been? Like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, something like that. It's been a while. It has been a while that we've been working on it, and I am quite excited to finally get it like done. One of the what was I gonna say about wanting to get it done? Crap. I just like totally lost my train of thought. Like completely on through. Oh my gosh, that's horrible. That is horrible. But yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. Quite honestly speaking, I'm happy that we're finally able to get this done. And then some of the things, what I'll show a little bit later, just depending on until the end, until we get to it. I got, you know, like more wood, a pattern transfer tool, which I may not be able to use simply because you're supposed to. So with the pattern, I'll just show it right now. Oh, it's right here. So here is the pattern transfer tool that I ordered. And with this pattern transfer tool, you are supposed to be able to transfer, there's like a little description right there, or not a description, but like a visual right there of how you can transfer, you know, easily your patterns onto the wood. The only thing is, it says that, you know, in all the instructions and everything, they always say, oh, you're supposed to use inkjet, or not inkjet. You're supposed to use either LaserJet or photocopy with that. You can't use inkjet, and I only have an inkjet printer. So part of me, because it's not even just one of those things where it's like, oh, one source says, oh, you can't, you can use laser, one source says, oh, you can only use like inkjet or laserjet, and then another one's like, oh, you can use either or, it's fine. Like literally all the videos and all the resources that I've seen that use that kind of transfer tool, they're like, do not use inkjet, only use laserjet or photocopy. And so I'm kind of like, well, what happens if you use inkjet? Like, what happens if you use inkjet for this? I kind of want to see it just to try it out for myself and maybe put something out there, you know, to help people understand, like, hey, if you are using a tool such as the pattern transfer tool, here's why you need to use here's why you need to use LaserJet or photocopy and not inkjet. Because again, like, no one on the internet has any kind of like, no one on the internet has a reason why you can't use inkjet. So I haven't decided yet if I want to try it with inkjet. So that's something that's swimming around in my head, and I think that, you know, if I'm looking for it, if I'm looking for those words, I think it'll be nice to, you know, put something out there and be like, you're probably wondering what would happen if you use this kind of tool with inkjet. Here's what happens. So now you don't have to be like me and wonder, well, why is everyone hating against inkjet with the pattern transfer tool? So that's something that's swimming on in my head. Another thing, so that I actually got like full blocks, and these are, well, 2 of these are like full, just like blank pieces of wood. So once we finish the 2 pieces that we have, so these are just blank, really soft, really nice basswood or basswood, which I feel is like a little bit more closer to this one, the one that's like super tough kind of, but it's gonna be nice being able to like carve into it, like for these. So I have that, and then I have this one which has like perforated, not even perforated, it's like just a design, but this is supposed to like help with making your cuts and, you know, just like a little practice. So once we finish, you know, going through something like this, the goal was to, you know, use like the back side of this, but also these woods to, you know, transfer different patterns onto the wood, and so we can try certain things out. But, you know, with the inkjet printer, we have to find a different method, which there's so many different methods with the inkjet printer. I just wasn't prepared for that, so we'll see. But going into it, let's go ahead and switch on over to here, and we're gonna finish up this one, because quite honestly, different cam, because quite honestly, as much as I love the progress that we made for this, and, you know, this was clearly a learning experience, especially on this side, you know, this bottom row here, like you could tell this is where we, you know, strayed away from what we were supposed to do. And then on the inside, this is where we started to learn a little bit more about the correct way and what we should do correctly in chip carving. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of, you know, correcting mistakes, and, you know, just learning along the way that I love about that. This one, so far, I love it. I love the pattern. Like, for some reason, making the curvy line cuts are like super, I wouldn't say like super easy, but they're super fun, and I really like it. So with this one, we definitely could go ahead and finish this one today. So the goal is to finish these 2, and then maybe do, you know, just like get a head start on the new board and start getting a little bit into those. And then I'll spend the next week trying to find a more reliable method to transfer patterns onto, like when you're using like inkjet pattern transfer. And then also, this one's actually quite the story, so we are going to have a bit of story time here, because I am mad. So one of the things that I wanted to be able to, you know, hopefully show either on this stream or even next stream, I invested in a more like, I want to say I wouldn't say like high profile camera. It's very much not one of those super expensive DSLRs, but it is one of those like more high profile camera, if you will. And the goal was to be able to get it so that I can use it on stream as the Carve cam, and actually to use it to, you know, for multi purposes. So, you know, to be able to use it to actually, you know, make like a separate channel, just start a separate channel in which I just talk about my life and everything and stuff. So that's a hint what's coming in the future. But it was supposed to be like a multi-purpose camera, actually. You know, again, for, you know, for vlogging, but then also to be able to show better light, to have like better light and show like a better resolution for the carvings. So I placed that order like any sensible person. I waited until Black Friday. I waited until Black Friday to make that investment into a more high profile camera. And what happened was, I was looking, I saw a really good looking camera, and immediately I was like, oh, this is a really good deal, because I saw that the retail price was usually about like $500 to $600. So at the price that I was buying it for, I was like, oh no, this is like over 50% off. I believe it was like after, you know, after taxes and everything, it was like $270. And so I'm like, $270, you know, and the retail price is around like $500, $600, like I'd be a fool. So I bought it, you know, I bought it, and then I did a little bit more research into it, and it turned out that that camera would not have fit my needs. So basically it really didn't matter what camera I got, because at least for like the vlogging and the YouTube videos, that whole thing, it really didn't matter, because I bought like it's essentially it's like essentially a, what is that, cam link from Elgato. It's essentially a cam link, but not a cam link, because I didn't buy it from Elgato, because I was like, you know, it's maybe Black Friday, but I don't like that Black Friday price for that cam link. So I bought a competitor, which a lot of reviews was like, yo, if you know, if you don't mind not having like the 4K, you know, aspect of it, this one is really good. So it really doesn't matter in terms of like videos, because I would do the whole cam link thing and then weave it through OBS, and then I'd use this mic for the video, for I'd use this mic for the, you know, the audio, the video, and then the editing and everything. It would solely just be for the quality, which the camera did have. The problem that I ended up discovering with the camera is that it does not have a always on display capabilities. So essentially, if I were to use that on my streams like every 30 minutes or so, I'd have to like, I guess, like either touch the camera or like mess with it a little bit, otherwise it'll automatically shut off. And that is not fun for anyone at all. So what I ended up doing was, I was like, okay, I found another camera, and I was like, okay, so what I'll do is I'll cancel the order for, you know, the non-camera that I wanted, and then once that refund goes through, I'll be able to purchase the other camera that I saw that's, you know, still for a good deal. So I put in an order for a refund, and I contact the merchant, and I tell them the situation. It's like, hey, you know, thank you, but you know, I have to get a refund because this camera actually does not have the capabilities that I'm looking for and that I need. You know, and I list out, you know, the capabilities and everything, and you know, I'm like, yeah, it's, you know, it's unfortunate, I do apologize, but you know, I need to cancel the order. I get an email afterwards, and I'm going to actually use a longer piece of board to do that. Ha 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 ha. But yeah, so I get an email from them, and they say, hey, we definitely understand your order. Well, I did confirm your order was sent with a batch, but I have put in a request for us to remove your order from the batch. Please follow up with us, or you'll receive an update within 24 hours. So naturally, I do not get the update in 24 hours. And I'm looking at the provided tracking number, and if you're more familiar with like FedEx or any company really, but especially FedEx, because in my day-to-day work, I work a lot with shipping from FedEx. FedEx has, for what they tell like their customers and what they tell the people who input the number, it's very like, hey, every time this goes through anything, anytime this goes through any facility, we're going to let you know when it's scanned. If you look at the FedEx label, the tracking number from what they sent me, the tracking number still says that it's still waiting to ship, which I know in my history of shipping, if they're saying, hey, the only information we have right now is that whoever placed the order just created the shipping label. It has not gone through any facility. It has not been scanned. We have no history of this package. Our system, the only thing that the system is telling us is that we're waiting for your package, that you have the intent to ship a package, but we do not have any package. So that, of course, worries me a bit, because I'm like, in my history of, of like shipping things and knowing full well that, hey, you create a label, but if FedEx is not, if it's not in FedEx's system, if it's if FedEx is not transporting it, they don't have your package. So after a while, I'm looking at this thing and I'm like, okay, so is it going to update? What's going on? Where's my package? Where's this camera? I'm like, I just need to know, because like, am I getting the camera or not? Like, were you guys able to stop it? There's like no communication, even though they told me I will receive an update in 24 hours. But of course, I'm pretty sure we all experienced that, and we all know how that goes. Yeah, they're not going to contact you, especially if it's like in regards to something like a return and like, hey, we stopped your package. Yeah, here's your money. Of course, they're not going to, do so much. So I finally decide, okay, let me actually call the business and let them know what's going on. And wow, look at your cool hobbies, right? Isn't this like a cool hobby? Like, this is actually one of those things that is relaxing for me. Despite, everything of what's going on with my camera, that is right now lost in the ether, because just as I was getting to in the story, I call the representative and I'm letting her know the situation, and she's like, I explained to her everything was going on, the emails that I sent to the merchant and everything, and she's like, yeah, no worries, I'll investigate, give me one moment. And so of course they do the let me put you on hold for like 10 minutes, and then she comes back and she's like, okay, so according to what I have here, so your camera was sent with the batch. We were unable to stop it. We were unable to, pull it from the batch. It went out with about like 500 other orders. And because it went out with like 500 or other orders, we were like, there is no tracking number for your package because the person who picked up, I guess, the pallet did not scan any of the packages. Like, she was saying, because really it was like, because it's Black Friday and we had a lot of orders, there are so many packages that we needed to ship out that the person who picked it up did not scan any of the packages, which to me was very peculiar, because I'm like, so you mean to tell me, and not even that they didn't scan it, but she was saying they don't scan, like, because it was Black Friday and everything, they didn't do the initial scan, and that I would receive like an update to that tracking number when the package was closer to my destination in my state, and that everything would be okay when everything would be okay closer to when the package was supposed to be delivered, which was supposed to be yesterday by 8 o'clock, mind you. So of course, as she's explaining this to me, I'm like, what? Like, do you not understand, like, the situation of that, like how honestly how stupid that sounds, that due to the volume of how many packages you dropped off, or your company like dropped off, you just allowed whatever service, whatever person that you work with, you allowed them to not scan every package, so that people who are expecting a package can't even keep track of it until whenever. Like, seriously, like, that is how packages get stolen. You know, like how people are like, hey, I'm waiting for this package, and your company is the one that doesn't look good when you're trying to tell them, yeah, the tracking number isn't being updated because when we shipped out your order, the person didn't scan it. They just shipped it out. I'm sorry, what? So as I'm trying to explain that the ridiculousness to the representative, she was getting like very short with me. Like, you could tell she was like, oh, well, we see this happen every year, and this happens, like, it's a lot of packages, and it's like, sometimes they don't have enough time to scan all of them. And I had to constantly remind her that, I too work in shipping. I work in, fulfillment. Like, that's not all that I do, but, I've worked with, making sure that, labels are created and shipping out everything and stuff. Like, I get it. And as someone that works in that deals with shipping and everything, I would not feel comfortable working with a third party, because clearly she did not have FedEx pick it up, like someone at actual FedEx pick it up. This was someone else doing something else or something. Because I was like, I would not feel comfortable if a FedEx person came to pick up some packages and is like, oh, there's a lot of packages here, I'm just not going to scan them all, I'm just going to send them out. I just want to ship them out. Hopefully they'll get to where they're supposed to go. And if they don't, just tell them it'll show up eventually. Like that, even just mentioning and joking around like that, it's just like that just does not sit well with me. So I called, I called actual FedEx. And, I was like, hey, maybe they see something in their system where they're like, yeah, we've had like a couple notes from this organization. Here's what's going on. Maybe they'll be able to help you. And talking to FedEx, the actual carrier who's supposed to be delivering my package, I talked to them. They're saying, yeah, literally the only thing we see on here is that company created a shipping label. We are still waiting for your package. I have no other further information. We are waiting for your package to be received at a FedEx facility. And I'm like, I mean, I know that and I figured that, but the business was telling me that, due to it being, Black Friday and they have a lot of shipments that their person or whatever has not scanned any of the packages. They just shipped it out, and just when it gets closer to the destination, then they'll do the initial scan. Like, that's just how that works. Like, that she was saying, like, that was the protocol, and that's how that works whenever they do whenever Black Friday comes around. And the representative is like, that doesn't sound right to me. That doesn't sound right to me, because anytime a package goes through any of our facilities, it gets scanned. The package gets scanned, and sometimes it's manual, sometimes it's through a computer or something, but anytime your package goes through a FedEx facility, it will get scanned. And the fact that at the time it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, and I was supposed to receive that package on Thursday, and there was like no movement. She was like, yeah, you need to call them back, and if they don't have anything, like if they can't track your package, they need to open up a case number or a file number for your package, because it's more than likely lost at this point. So I'm like, okay. And so I hate it when you call a company and you happen to get the same representative. Like, that's one of those where it's a little bit, it depends on what the situation is, to be honest, because had it been like a super nice representative, I wouldn't have mind getting her back and saying, hey, so I called FedEx and this was the situation. But no, I got the same representative, and she was still alleging to that story of, oh, it's Black Friday, and we've dealt with this all the time. You'll get your package on Thursday. It's just the system, and there's all these different reasons and da 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 and all that. And I'm like, first of all, I find it amazing that you're like, oh, well, this happens all the time, and the representative didn't have enough time to scan all the packages, and that with the season there may be some delay. And I'm like, this wasn't the only thing that I ordered off Amazon, first of all, and some of those other packages easily made it to my residence on time. And for those that didn't, they let me know, hey, we're not going to be able to deliver this in 2 days or more. Here is your updated estimated delivery date. So even if I'll buy you at your word, even if the package was going to be delayed, you would still have let me know. FedEx would have still let me know, hey, we're backed up. It's the holiday season. Everyone knows what they're getting into when they buy things for the holiday. That's why they buy it earlier than when they need it. But I didn't get any of that. And she was so adamant about, oh yeah, you'll definitely get your package, and here's what I'll do. You'll get your package on Thursday before 8 o'clock. That's what the estimated delivery date says. That's what what's on the label, and so you'll get it on Thursday. But if you don't happen to get it on Thursday, we'll say Friday by 10 o'clock in the morning. If by Friday at 10 a.m. you don't have it, you could give us a call back, and I will personally be looking out for this order. You give us a call back, and if you don't have your package by then, we'll open up a case number. So lo and behold, yesterday 8 o'clock came and went, and guess who still doesn't have their camera? So today I call, and I let thankfully this was a new representative, or it was either the same representative and she didn't have a she was just like, oh, I'm gonna play like I'm this new person, but it was we'll just give them the benefit of the doubt, and it was a new person, and I let them know the whole situation. I let them know what's going on. had me on hold for 15 minutes this time. And then she came back, and again, they were sticking to that story of, yeah, we can confirm that your package was that your package did go on a pretty large pallet. So, typically with the scans and, all that, it did not get scanned. But because you were supposed to receive it on Thursday and you don't have it, and we can't even verify, like, she didn't say this, but here's my thing. I'm like, that's another reason why would you trust that someone would deliver the package and not scan it? Because let's just say, even though I have not received the camera, but let's just say if someone in my situation did receive the camera and it still wasn't scanned through any system, right now your system still shows, and that tracking number still shows that my package has not been delivered. So even if it possibly was, you have no proof of that, because the only thing in the system shows that you still haven't even shipped it out. That is poor management. And I would say anyone at that company who decided to hire whatever vendor and work with that vendor, they need some sort of repercussion needs to happen, because that is not only harmful for the customer, but that's harmful for the business. Thankfully, I am a good person, and I am more pissed at the fact that I still do not have the camera. And I'm more pissed at the fact that nobody knows where that camera is. Because again, what did the representative say before? You'll receive it on Thursday. You will definitely receive the camera on Thursday. We've been through this so many times. We deal with this every year. Then where's my camera? Where is my camera? Why am I more worried about the fact that there's a missing camera than you? Because not only will you have to pay me back, but that's inventory that you don't have. Why are we being so nonchalant about this? I don't understand. So, long story short, we opened up a case. She opened up a case with actual FedEx, which is like, they see the same thing that I see. Like, this is not going to go well for you. She said they opened up a case with FedEx, and by next Friday, they should receive a word from actual FedEx in their investigation of what happened to the package. And if by Friday they don't hear anything, FedEx will probably get back to them. And of course, I'm going to be calling. Because I got the case number. I will be calling FedEx as well. And I'm like, hey, I have a case number for a package. What's going on? The moment they, have to, announce that, the package is lost, in our system, we don't have anything saying that you guys actually shipped it. We don't know where this package is. I'm going to get my money back. And then I'm going to buy that other camera that I had that I wanted. And then this will just be a lesson that I will tell everyone. Just make sure to do, your research on, your high profile, on like your high profile purchases, because I think for me, and this isn't like it's funny as it is, like, I don't blame myself at all. I saw a good price on a camera. I saw a really good price on a camera, and I was like, oh, I definitely want this. But I don't know what's the best things for cameras. I don't know exactly what to look for. Now, I know now what I'm supposed to look for, and that's only in terms of features. But when it comes to like lenses and everything, I don't know. I just need something that can actually connect to my computer and always stays on. That's all I know. Now, I wish I would have known that before, so that I wouldn't have put in the purchase for this other camera, because then I wouldn't be in this situation. The new camera that I found, I probably would have already purchased that one, and then I'd be able to use that as a really nice camera, and we could, see more detail in all of this. But, hindsight is 2020, Is that where did we? There it is. Okay. But yeah, so that's just the lesson there, because I get it. Sometimes things happen, especially in times for the holidays. Everyone's like, oh, Black Friday deals, Cyber Monday deals. Everyone's going to be shopping, and that's the thing for me. I wouldn't have been as angry or mad as I am had it been an issue of, well, your delivery is going to be delayed. Like, had that representative, told me, or, I mean, even if she would have told me, I still would have been like, that doesn't change the fact that I put in an order for it for you to not send it off, and I think, honestly, if they would have actually done their job, whatever company they used, if they would have actually done their job and scanned it, they would have been able to see which facility FedEx's system is at, that the package was at. And then FedEx, they could have called actual FedEx and said, hey, we need to put a stop on this order, because that was another thing. Like, the representative at the company was so adamant about, yeah, we have it in the notes that please do not deliver the moment it's being sent out. If you could reroute it and send it back to us. But then I call actual FedEx and they're like, we have no notes. We have nothing about this package. We have a tracking number that says we are currently waiting for it to be in our possession. We don't know where this package is. So I mean, at this point, I'm just like, I just want the gosh dang camera, Like, I just want the camera to be found, because even though it may sound like I'm mad at the company, and I'm not mad at the company. Heck, I'm not even mad at the agent, because I'm pretty sure there was other people, if it was as she said, and of those 500 orders and purchases that other people's tracking numbers aren't giving them, or aren't even showing them what's going on with their package and everything, and they're like, yo, where's my stuff? I can only imagine the amount of calls that she's getting, and people are like, yo, where is my electronics? So I get that. I don't blame her. I don't blame her, because I'm pretty sure me talking to her on the phone, and I'm like, basically, and I had to, kind of control myself. I had to get to, do the whole, because I do work in shipping and fulfillment, and I've never heard of something about a representative or someone who's doing the shipping, not scanning a package because there's so many. I don't care. You need to manually scan. I don't care if there was 1,000 packages. You get your scanner. Get your little scanner. I don't want to hold the knife because that's kind of dangerous. But get your little scanner. Beep, 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 beep. 500 times. 500 times, no matter how long that takes. Hell, if you work in an 8-hour shift and you have 500 packages and you have to scan all 500, I'm pretty sure that doesn't even take 8 hours. It's going to take some time, but it's not as if that's going to take up your whole 8-hour shift because you had to scan 500 boxes. And if it did, that's an easy day for you. At least you don't have to do all this other random crap. It don't make any sense to me. It really does not make any sense to me. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and finish this. So yeah, I was just so confused at that, because I know for the company I work for, if there was ever a situation where we are managing the we keeping track of like all like the grids and where these packages are going, and we were to scan, like we were to have a tracking label And for some reason, of course, for us, we don't play like that. We automatically take that to FedEx is going to scan all, and we've had packages where we've had like over 100 packages, and they scanned each and every one of them without a question. But of course, that's actual FedEx. Like something tells me that they use like I would say like a third party. But that's the thing also. It's like somebody created the label. It wasn't as if you just like hand wrote it can't be. It can't be that you just like hand wrote my address on the package and then just was like, yo, random FedEx dude, can you take this to FedEx and ship it out? Like I just don't know. I honestly just don't know, because clearly you went through FedEx's actual system to create the shipping label. You did, because no one is denying that you didn't send this, that you sent this to FedEx. Like FedEx is like, yeah, we have this package, this tracking label in our system. We're just waiting for the package. So again, I mean, and it's at this point, it's just like, you know what? It's fine. If the camera ends up showing up sometime next week, okay, great. Because then I could just return it back to them, and then I could just get the other camera that I actually wanted, It's the goodness in me that's like, I don't want it to be a situation to where it's like on a technicality, because again, their system shows like FedEx, they can't like, I've had another situation which was very, very crappy, and this is the reason why I hate DHL. I hate DHL. Hold on, actually, let me just make sure. Because yes, we're carving, but also, yeah, we're carving, chip carving and shipping. Hold on, delivery horror stories. We're doing a lot of chatting. Do you think I'll get in trouble if I'm actually doing like chip carving, or if I'm actually doing something besides like just chatting, even though we're really just chatting? I don't know. We're just gonna find out. And then if I get slack for it, then I'll change it to art again. But we'll see. So what was I saying? I was saying the reason why I hate DHL, besides the fact that they have the worst like customer service, delivery service that I've ever experienced in my life. This was actually like back in 2015. It was like 2015. Yeah, it was 2015, because it was shortly before I had my little excursion to San Francisco. But yeah, so I placed an order and I think it was either on eBay. I don't think it was on Amazon. Either it was on Amazon, and it wasn't through like Amazon Prime or anything like that. It was like through an actual like international company. So Amazon was like, yeah, well, we really can't do anything because it wasn't, with our facility. You have to take this directly with them. But yeah, so it was, I had this plan. So I wanted to order I ordered kind of like a Zentai suit, because it was going to be like my cosplay. I had this really great idea for a cosplay, which I actually want to do one day in my life. I just, now with Rona and COVID happening, I'm not investing any time into cosplay until I can actually wear it, beside, like wear it somewhere that's, not my house. But at the time I had this really great idea and I needed, full bodysuits. So I bought two of two different variety of colors. Not really, no, what I bought isn't really important, but just to add a little bit of context to the story to explain why, why this was very important and why I was really, wanting to get this package. So I ordered the suits. I ordered them, and they're through DHL, and automatically, whenever I see some things, with DHL, I'm like, oh crap, they're like Spirit Airline, it's like, yeah, you can, you can, fly anywhere, and yes, flying can be expensive. But if your friend or family member is like, okay, you can spend this much money flying everywhere else, or you can spend like $30 and fly with Spirit, you're gonna say no, get me Southwest, get me Virgin, get me literally any other airline except Spirit. I will die. I will literally die on that flight. I take my chances and just spend a little bit more to fly and make sure that I actually make it to my other destination. So that's basically how I feel about DHL. I feel like I actually want to receive my package. If I didn't want my package, I wouldn't have ordered it. Therefore, please do not send my things through DHL, because I will not receive my package, and then that will just defeat the whole purpose of me ordering these things. So that's context as to how I feel and why I don't like DHL. And this story, to continue on, is a really good proof case as to why I don't like DHL. So, I order the items, and I'm waiting, at my door. I have, and it's like a gated community. It has the security gate and everything. I make sure on any of my orders, I make sure to include the actual, the passcode, the little secret passcode, to have the door just open automatically. Is that the safest thing? Nah, maybe not. But in this case, I was like, let me just make sure that, I make sure to provide them with no reason for them to say, oh, sorry, we missed you. We couldn't get into the front door. So I, on the first day that it was supposed to be delivered, I get I go outside, and lo and behold, there is a sorry we missed you little door hanger note. And I'm like, I was home literally the whole time. If you would have called, or if you would have did something, you could have opened up the door. If you would have looked, you could have opened up the door. So I'm like, that's no problem. I'll make sure let me call DHL. And so I call them, And I'm like, hey, got this notice and everything, and I'm like, is there anything I can do to make sure that they, if they could just like leave the package, either by like the mailbox, or if they, like if they can give me a call when they're here or something. I left the, the directions for, to access the security gate, but I get it sometimes, they don't have that accessible to them. Is there anything I can do? And so I leave all that information with the representative, and she's like, yeah, they'll return, they'll do like the return thing and whatnot, and then it'll be good to go. The next day, I check. I check the mailboxes. No, I did not receive the packages. Despite online it's saying your package has been delivered. And I go and I'm trying to, I go down to the mailboxes. Like, first I opened up the door and my package is nowhere to be seen. Package is nowhere. So then I'm like, oh, they probably left it down at the mailboxes. Nope. They didn't leave it at the mailboxes either. Instead, I see, by the mailboxes, I see nothing actually. There's literally nothing there. And I'm like, what do they mean that, the package has been delivered? I see no package here. Instead, the way that my complex is, there's a staircase. It's like a mini staircase. There's a mini staircase that leads up to where you can walk forward. It's like half an hour. So like if you think like of this block, there's like one side that goes upstairs, and then there's one other side where it's just like a straight path. I check under the staircase, and I see a "Sorry we missed you" door tag labeled for that date, the date of that date, for my apartment number. And I'm like, huh? So the courier says, hey, your package has been delivered, but I'm going to leave a "Sorry we missed you" door tag that isn't even on my door, that isn't even on the security gate. It's in a position to where you got in the building. And it was just slipped under the staircase, and then you left. So naturally, I called DHL, and I'm like, hey, where is my package? And of course, they're like, what do you mean, where's your package? We checked the tracking number, and it shows that it's been delivered. And I'm like, it hasn't been delivered, because one, I don't have my package, and two, why, if it was delivered, why is there a door tag that says "Sorry we missed you" on the date that the package was delivered, and it has my apartment number on it? So of course they couldn't answer that, because that's just one of those mysteries to where it's like it's a literal unsolved mystery, because even to this date, we still don't know, because from there, they said, oh, we'll try to get in contact with the courier, we'll try to see what's going on, don't you worry. And basically it got to the point of them basically just saying, well, it's been a while, the courier doesn't exactly remember doesn't remember the residence, but the tracking number says that the package was delivered. So that's all we're going to, you know, that's literally that's basically what it was. It's like, we're not putting any more energy into this. It says it was delivered. The courier doesn't remember anything else from that. It's been delivered. And again, I'm like, if the package was delivered, and I sent them a picture of it. I took a picture. I had a picture of the "sorry we missed you" tag, and I'm like, didn't answer that question. Why isn't he answering that question? If he delivered the package, why did he write a "sorry we missed you" door tag for that package? And they didn't, that was besides the point. They did not want to answer that. Or they felt that that information was not relevant. Because the tracking number at the end of the day said that it was delivered. So, I believe it was Amazon, because what then infuriated me was I tried to get in contact with Amazon regarding the order, and their thing was, because this was not shipped from Amazon, because this was not like a Amazon fulfillment, this was directly with the store, you have to go through the store. You can't go through us, because we're essentially, we just facilitated the transaction, but we didn't ship it. So that's something you have to take up with the store. We have no say in this. And I was like, crap. And then I get in contact with the store and let them know of the situation. And of course, they're going to side with the courier, because they are in no way going to resend out, you know, more of their, you know, packages and everything, because they're like, well, if it says it was delivered, then there's really nothing we can do. You'd have to, like, that was their thing. They were like, if it says that it was delivered and it wasn't, you have to make a claim with them, because they would be the one that to offer to do that, a return and everything, because they lost your package. That's something you have to take it up with them. That's not going through us. And I'm like, well, to them, they're not going to do anything, because their system says that it was delivered. Meanwhile, I still have this little door tag that says, sorry, we missed you. We will attempt your delivery at another date. So needless to say, that was one of my more failed purchases using online shipping services. And up until now, I have only used Amazon, like order things from like Amazon Prime, where Amazon is fully, you know, in charge of their delivery, in charge of like the delivery, because what happens when something goes wrong with the delivery, Amazon takes full responsibility. So if a package does not, if the package is not delivered, or if a package is missing, do you know what Amazon does? And the great thing about it is that this is not even with a regular person. This is all automated. You join a chat room and they say, hi, thank you for contacting Amazon. What can I do for you? And then you tell them, my package is lost. It says it was delivered, but I did not get a package. My package was damaged. Whatever it is that you made, that it will maybe. They say, oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Please give me one moment to check the status of your order. And then within a couple moments, they come back and says, it looks like you were having an issue with your order. What can we do? And it gives you two options. I want a refund, or I want another item. And you select whichever one is applicable to you, and they say either, great, your refund has been processed, or great, we've resent out another package. You will receive an update to the tracking number. That's it. That's it. And then they do the, have I been able to help you today? Yeah. Because you've literally, it's a no questions asked. It's especially for those, because I get it. There definitely might be some people out there that abuses that system and is just like, oh, I've never received my package. And it's like, sir, Amazon takes pictures of when they drop off your stuff. What do you mean you haven't received it? I don't know, but I didn't receive it, you know? Then it's like, okay. But for someone like me, where, you know, I don't make too many complaints, you know? It's like, I'll admit when something is my fault, and then I'll just ask if there's anything that they can do, you know, because there's definitely been times where I've made Amazon purchases with the wrong card, and I'm like, yo, I accidentally, you know, this purchase went through on the wrong card. Can you help me? And Amazon flat out was just like, oh, we're sorry to hear that. We'll just process a refund for this order on that card. Amazon, you just, I just got those items for free. Like, that's not at all what I want. Like, I mean, I'm not going to say no, but I was more than happy to like replace the cards. Like, if you want to place the transaction on another card, because this one, it was applied to this other card by mistake. They're like, no, we're unable to move this is exactly what she said. We're unable to move the purchase onto another card now that it is complete. Therefore, what we'll go ahead and do is refund the amount so that it does not show on that card. Like, I know we have this whole thing about Amazon and Jeff Bezos, you know, being this trillionaire now, and his net worth is $1 trillion, and you know how we should eat him because he's rich and everything. But show me another business that's literally going to be like, hey, I understand your situation. You applied this purchase to the wrong card. We'll just refund it. Are you going to charge the actual card? No, we'll just refund it. Is there anything else I can do for you today? Like, this is why Amazon is ahead. This is why Amazon is where they are, because literally they have robots who just understands the situation, who checks out everything, who like can check out the situation and what's going on and say, based on the information you told me, you are actually qualified for either a reshipment or a refund. Which one do you want? So you can go back to your daily life and you can get off my line. I'm all down for that. I'm super down for that. And then when you talk to a representative and you explain to them, hey, this is like a horrible situation, I used the wrong card, we got you. We'll just refund it. It's fine. Thank you for being a valued customer. Is there anything else I can do for you? Like, Amazon, this is why. Now, do I wish that you paid like a little bit more federal taxes, you know, being that you are a multi, you know, something kind of company? Sure. I mean, it wouldn't help. It wouldn't hurt. It would not hurt at all. But that's just me, you know? That's just me. I'm not gonna fake the funk and be like, oh, I'm never going to use Amazon again, because that's a goddamn lie. That is a goddamn lie, and I know it. I know it. My mother knows it. My sister knows it. Everybody in my family knows it. If I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to use Amazon anymore because they make a lot of money. I also get my package here in 2 days or less. So yes, that is, so long story, I mean, that was like a blend of stories, but long story short, just make sure you're always careful with the companies that you know do business with, especially on Amazon, because things like that can happen. And you know, and again, going back to what I was saying before, that's why it still just baffles me that, you know, that company would be okay with the fact that the person handling that package does not scan them. Like, he did not scan them. And my thing is, again, to, you know, put it in more context, with the DHL situation, they could easily say, you know, they, not even that they could easily say, they said, our system shows that your package was delivered. You know, now being the fact that DHL is a pretty shitty company, and the fact that it showed that it was delivered, and they're like, yeah, well, there's really nothing else we can do. It says that it was delivered, so we're going to take the side of that the job was done. Is there anything else you need from us? Because we're not going to do anything else. That was DHL's take. But they were operating under the safety belt that in their system, the package was delivered. In this situation, not only has the package not been delivered, but FedEx don't even know where this package is. To FedEx's system, we're still waiting for this package. So, if I was to go, literally, if I was to go anywhere else, and let's just say even if I did, if I was one of those customers, and I'm like, Amazon, I want to see some repercussions on this company for the simple fact that when you check the tracking number and you go on to FedEx.com and you check this tracking number, FedEx's own system says it has no idea. It's never received this package. No, someone is on your store, because then you can make the case that someone is on your platform falsifying delivery of services. They're falsifying the fact that they're falsifying their statement that we shipped out your package, and that the only person out of everyone involved with this transaction, the only person who can verify that the package was actually sent out is the company. You really want that on your platform, Amazon? I don't think so. Because I'm not a lawyer person. I'm not a legal person. But I feel like that's a lawsuit somewhere. Somewhere. To somebody. You know? So, with that in mind, I would think that any shipping company, and it doesn't even have to be a company, it could just be an individual. This is why you always get shipping confirmation, and with certain amount of purchases with a certain amount of value, you get someone to sign for it. Because of instances like those where it says, hey, the package was delivered. No, it wasn't. Well, the package had, you know, a signature required, and someone did sign for it. Because then it becomes a situation of, okay, well then either someone signed incorrectly, you were at the wrong number, or, you know, let me know what it was, because then I could track it down myself. Because then if someone did sign for it, I'm knocking on everybody's door in my complex, and I'm like, I know you signed for it. They said that this somebody, the last name so and so, you signed for my package. Please give me my package. But from what I've always experienced in where I currently live, no one really messes. No one messes with anybody else's packages. Everybody orders, you know, everybody's done like the online ordering, and, you know, nobody's, you know, outside of like one instance, nobody, you know, for the most part messes with anybody else's packages. But if in that case, if they said, yes, somebody had signed for it, you know, that would give me, you know, the assurance that somebody in this complex got my package, and I want it, you know? But that's the thing, you know? In all of that, I would think that, you know, whoever company has that kind of foresight and that forethought to think, maybe it's not a good idea for them to just pick up the pallet, literally not have any kind of not have any kind of like scanning, you know, priority, even on Black Friday, you know, the holidays and everything. I would think that that would be more of a time for them to say, yo, I understand it's a busy time of the year, but you're gonna scan all these packages. You are going to scan each and every one of them. Hell, if it's a lot, you know it's a lot. You know it's a lot of people. Bring 2 scanners. Bring 2 people. Bring 2 scanners. I don't care. Bring 5 people. 5 people, 5 scanners. That's 100 boxes each. You get that done in 10 minutes. 100 boxes scan. Beep, 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 beep. You get that easily done. Bring more people. But to just be completely neglectful and say, yeah, we don't do the scan because it's a lot of boxes, but it'll be scanned. The tracking number will update once it's closer to your area. Oh, okay. Well, I hope for your sake it does, because I will definitely be calling on Friday if I do not receive my package, and that tracking number still shows, because and that was the heartbreaking thing, even though I knew that's what would have happened. The heartbreaking thing, because here's the thing that they probably don't even know that I know. Those tracking numbers only last a week. Only last a week. So by the time Tuesday comes around, if they still haven't scanned it, that tracking number goes away. So then really gonna have an issue, because even in FedEx's system, they're going to say, well, this tracking number has been canceled. Why? Because there's no scan. So they're gonna be generous if I actually give them till Friday, because I'm probably gonna give them till Wednesday, call FedEx and say, oh, here's this tracking number. Oh, you don't have it in your system? Crap. Well, where does that leave, you know, case number da 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 da? Because that's going to be that's going to be the easiest declaration of, you know, the easiest resolution of this whole shipping fiasco. Of we did not receive the package into our system after the week, so by protocol, we remove this tracking number from our system. So that's going to be interesting. And then yeah, and there's that. All right, so we have actually finished carving all of this, in which that's actually pretty nice. I mean, of course, yes, again, this whole bottom part, so this bottom part and then this along the lines up here, again, I like to call that the learning. This is the learning border. This is the wrong way. This is the wrong way to do all of this. And then anything else from here, this is the right way. Now, even in here, I'm not sure if you could really like see it. You can't really see it, but there's like 1 or 2 in here where I am like missing like a big chunk of like a little border of the X. Let me see if I can find it. I know there's one right there. Oh, these 2. So for that one, that little piece right there, which is pretty weird because in the camera, you can't really tell. And then also for this one as well. There we go. Okay. Come on, focus, camera, focus, focus. There we go. So like you could tell like that one right there. Do you have to? If I had my actual good camera, there we go. So like that one right there. Come on, get closer, focus on it, focus. Focus, baby, focus. All right, but also that one right there. I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna stop because the camera clearly is not going to focus the way that we need for it to focus. Actually, let's see. Can I? And so, what I like to do, and I'm still trying to see like which one's like a little bit better, is like sand the top part to remove kind of like the black lines. And so this one's like really fine sandpaper. So it doesn't really, at least what I've seen, it doesn't really remove it all that well. So let's try this. Try and fold that in half. Well, let's see. Okay, so this one. Okay. Oh, okay. All right, because I was like, it's looking kind of blue. Not exactly what I wanted, but that is just the residue, but you can easily blow it off. Kind of. Okay. I'll probably. Oh, there we go. There we go. So, I mean, the lines are the darker lines, I guess the guidelines that they call them. Some of those have gone away. I think in terms of actually like, you know, for these final projects, you know, that's when you paint them, and that's how you get those little things off and everything. But this isn't so bad. This actually is not so bad. And so I like it. Again, you can tell where the learning happened, and where the expertise started to happen. So I'm very happy with the way this one came out. Very happy. And this one was on actual wood. This one was not on the easy board, as they call it, in which easy board is a little bit easier to carve through. I wanted to make sure that, you know, as I am learning and getting comfortable with it, that I can actually, like, you know, carve into actual wood and not the I think of it as fake wood. Practice wood, if you would. I'd want to, you know, make sure that, you know, as I'm learning the skills, gaining the skills, I don't rely so much on, I guess we can use this one. I don't want to rely so much on this type of wood that is very easy to carve through versus this kind of wood that, you know, it was quite a journey. It's quite a journey, but it was a pretty good journey nonetheless. So yeah, so that's the easy board. That's the basswood. All good stuff. Oh, so lovely, so lovely. All right, so now that that one is done, let's move on to actually one of my favorites, if I'm being honest, which is this bad boy. But before that, let me take a little drinky drink first. This is actually not alcoholic. It is Crystal Light. Thank you very much. Take my vitamins as well. Speaking of, I mean, we'll just do a full-on. She's gonna do a full-on. Well, let's check our blood sugar, and you know, then we'll get back to it. Yeah, I knew it. No, I knew we were on a little bit more of the high side, which is fine, because it happens sometimes. Sometimes that's just how life is as a diabetic. You think you're doing well, you think you're doing great, and it turns out you're not. But as long as you catch it early enough, that's the goal there. We'll do 20 carbs because I'm gonna eat some fruit snacks. There we go. So yeah, so while that's happening, I'm gonna get one of these because we deserve it. This is Annie's literally the best. I guess I could have put them up here as well. Literally the best fruit snacks ever. Annie's, I don't know what she puts in these. It's like crack. This is gonna, yeah. I've never had the substance. I've never even in my life. But if I had to guess, I'd say it tastes like this. Actually, I was like, as I was comparing, let's see what it looks like in this camera. Okay. If I had my actual, like the actual camera that I bought that, you know, mysteriously went away, at least you could see a little bit more detail in this one. And then this one you could really see, where I went, you know, the technique was not there. And then as you start getting towards the middle, that's where the technique really starts to show. So again, you know, I don't regret messing up on this project. It's all a part of the learning. Perfect. So put those there. Let me Yes, I eat my fruit snacks like that because that's the best way to eat them. All right, so we don't have too much left with this one. So this is going to be, I think this one's actually going to be quick because with these like slants and everything, I'm actually really good at them. Not to, you know, flex my newly found skill, but I'm really good at cutting these out. But I'm gonna just go ahead and do this middle part real quick just to be done with it. Nice. And just like that, that's easy. I think what I also really like about these ones is that they're a little bit bigger. So the little the little chips that you're taking out are a lot bigger than the squares, which the resource that I use them. So it's my chip carving. That's where I got all of the I guess like everything to get started with chip carving. I guess they were saying like the squares, that little squares pattern, they made them smaller and made them have like more because it's easier when it's smaller to get the chip out. Which, you know, if you are uneducated on what to expect, it's not easier. But once you realize, you know, what you're doing in that, you know, the smaller the chip, you don't have to put in the knife as big or as far. That's when you start to realize, oh, this is a little bit easier. Right, so now that the middle part's done, we're just gonna go all the way around and do these little first outside ones. And the good thing about it is that because, you know, understanding the principle that, you know, they're tiny, these ones are just like shallow cuts. Reminds me, just as I said shallow cuts, it reminds me of good old Buffy the Vampire Slayer at the end of season 5, where you had the demon guy. He was doing shallow cuts to Dawn, which opened up the portal to hell, which, you know, started the end of the world. You know, spoiler alerts, by the way, if you have not seen Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I say, why not? You know, like that show was my childhood, basically, literally my childhood. But yeah, that was the best series ever. I, for one, am excited to see what they do with the reboot. Which, I mean, I guess we really wouldn't have heard too much about the reboot in the time of Corona. Maybe they're, you know, waiting. But I'm really excited to see or to hear, you know, how the direction of the reboot, what they were going for, because the show already in itself, and this is something that, you know, you'd have to look at some of like the interviews of what they did after the series ended. A lot of the themes of, you know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, you know, even though it was very like mystical and, you know, dealt with, you know, vampires, demons, yada yada yada, and all of that, it was all symbolism for, like, you know, the everyday, you know, things that, you know, at the time, you know, earlier in the show, you know, there were all symbolisms for, you know, what teenagers went through and all that. So, you know, there was like, you know, whereas, you know, it was shown as a demon, it really, you know, dealt with like addiction and, you know, like that, those whole concepts, societal concepts that, you know, it was just explained in a different way that was just like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, you know. And quite frankly, Buffy was really relatable as you like grew up with her, and if you were like in that same situation, like her going from like high school to adulthood, you know, that's, you know, that transition in her, you know, having to grow up really fast, you know. And I feel like a lot of people relate to that, you know, like having like that major responsibility, you know, which again is like one of those things that, you know, maybe some people really identify with. You know, it's like, hey, I'm only young, like I'm still a teenager, but, you know, I may not have the weight of the world, you know, the full weight of the world on my shoulders, but I have the weight of my world on my shoulders, you know. And I feel like that's relatable because, yes, she saved the world, you know, like as they say, she saved the world a lot, but it's like she was central to that one place. So it's like, while, you know, the whole world may not have been on her shoulders because there was only one Hellmouth, and that was her world, that was her life. So the weight of her world was on her shoulders, which is very relatable. So, if you haven't seen the show, if you couldn't tell, I definitely recommend that you watch it. Not sure where you can watch it. Last I knew of, you could watch it on Facebook. I'm not sure if you could still do that anymore. I just know that Facebook was having like some Facebook video and you could watch Buffy, and I wanted to watch it, but I was mad because the audio sync was off during the finale of season 5, and that is my all-time favorite season. And just that one episode is one of my favorite ones. Not my all-time favorite one, but it's definitely one that I love watching. And if you mess up with that, if you mess up with anything relating to the gift and everything, if anything is off and is not the way it's supposed to be, I won't watch it. And so with this, just go ahead, take all these out. Let's turn that. There we go. There we go. See? With these, it's a lot easier to get these ones out, and you know you're doing it right when it does that, where it just lifts up. One way or another, you'll know you're doing it right because it'll just come out of place. And if it doesn't, that just means you need to just retrace where you did your cuts, and it'll come out eventually. There we go. See? There we go. Skip that little piece out. Let's retrace that a little bit. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Come on. go. Just want to make sure this is there we go. As clean as possible. Uh-oh. And then even for these, I have to like remind myself to still have that that sort of an angle when I cut, because now I'm starting to realize, like, as I'm moving through, like you want to have it at like an angle, they say about like 65, so you want to have it at like an angle. And I'm noticing when I'm carving, I'm just going through, just like slowly, just not even slowly tracing it through, but it's just like, oh nope, I got this, and not really having that angle because I'm so because I'm just trying to like go through it, not as like a rush thing to just be like, oh, it's fine, it's easy, just something you have to be cognizant of. Out. Okay, perfect. So all of those are out. And again, it's like with the way that you can see, you can tell I made this cut back when I didn't know better, because all these other ones are shallow. So that one's shallow. I mean, if the camera wants to ever focus, that one's shallow, that one's shallow, and that one's shallow, but this one's kind of deep. Maybe if I put it over here. Yeah, this one you got like a bit of a better recognition. These are all shallow, and then that one's just super deep. There we go. Let me see. Mirror image is kind of hard, but yeah, so that one's the only shallow one, which, you know, again, is just one of those testament to just a testament to skill and, you know, better learnings and teachings and whatnot. But yeah, so now we just gotta do this border part, which to me actually is the fun part. So again, with this one, you don't want to go so far in there. I'm just gonna do that, just okay. Go. Just gotta do this one. There we go. And then we do the inside curve. Just do the inside curves to these other ones. And so I'm not sure with this one if you're supposed to like turn it, because with the way that I'm cutting it, I just grab like I move my hand with it, as you can see, and I'm not sure if there should be more of a focus on moving my hand or like turning the work. But either or, it's like I have no problem with turning my hand. But if there is like an accurate skill I'm supposed to do, I would much rather do that. So I'm doing this. You want to make sure you start at the top. There we go. Let me get this part out. And there we go. All right. And then we do this. Perfect, all the way up. And then we do this part. And there you go. And that's how the border edge gets cut out. Smooth and simple. So let's do this part here. Come on. There we go. We'll do this here. Perfect. Let me get this last one here. Is that one gonna come out? Yes, it is. And it's out there. Let's do this last one. Those just like the thing about this pattern is that it just seems to like just fall away, which is weird because, you know, what I was reading about like the squares one, like it just seemed like that one was supposed to be the easier one. This pattern actually seems like it's the easier one and actually more fun because yes, it's still kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't say like monotonous in a way. It's still very repetitive, just like that other pattern is repetitive. But this one, because you're dealing with like different curves and everything, this one just feels a little bit better. It feels more fun to cut through and to carve. Like everyone is a little bit different. All right, and so now all we do is we'll do the inside. Do the outside. Probably gonna have to cut through again, go a little bit deeper. As I'm saying that, I'm trying to actually like turn the work instead of turning my hand. It is seeming like it's a little bit easier when you turn the work and not the hand. There we go. Exactly the best, but you know what, it's fine, because again, what is this? What are we doing? We're learning. We'll do that. And that. There we go. Perfect. For this one, because of the way that the wood is, and you know, to make sure to reduce the amount of splinters and whatnot, you want to make sure to do the inside ones first before you do the outside cut first. So just so I don't forget, let's do the inside cut. Yeah. And then we'll do the outside cut here. There we go. And again, probably have to trace over it again. I think that's definitely a spot that we need to work on. Especially with these ones. Yeah, it's just those outside oval cuts that seem to be losing their losing the flare. Seem to be not looking as pretty. But we'll get it down eventually. There we go. There we go. There we go. Nice. Wonderful. Okay. And then we just move on to the last one, which we already did the initial cut, so we just gotta... Nope, that's bad technique. Let's not start bad habits. There we go. Go. And we'll retrace the inside. There we go. Okay, that one was a little bit better. Didn't take as long, but okay. Perfect. All right. And finish the last one. Come on. There we go. Let's get that one out. And this one kind of cheating. It's kind of cheating. It's kind of cheating because that one we typically would save, like we go to work on the square one a lot, and then we'd only get through this one a couple of times, and then off stream I would continue to carve it, only because I really like the way that the knife like glides through as you're cutting through. And I'm not sure if that's in part because of the wood, or you know, because you know these ones are a lot bigger, that you know you actually have room to like cut with the knife. But in any case, I actually like it. Let's choose I'm gonna try something just because, you know, I like ruining things. Let's use like a harder grade of sandpaper. And then let's see what this does. Oh, this is exactly what we were looking for. What I was looking for was something that actually took off the marks, the previous, you know, pattern off of the wood. And of course, I had a feeling, you know, like a deeper grade or a higher grade of sandpaper would get the job done. I just didn't want to be foolish or seem stupid. I'm just gonna do that. I wonder what would happen, because I seem to have got like a little bit. Yep, there we go. And I just, you know, trace a little bit over to get that sandpaper out of there. It's like, okay, so we have this part here. I want to make sure to cut out. There we go. Get that one out of there. And then, I mean, even in this one, you can kind of like take a look. So let's see. Oh, camera in that auto zoom. Okay. So like even in this one, you can tell there is certain parts where I carved just a little bit too deep. I mean, it's not as bad. So like with this one, you could tell like this top one, I carved a little bit too deep, which I mean may not exactly be like wrong, may not be wrong, but you know, you could just tell in terms of like the other ones where actually got like kind of like the skill down. The first couple of ones at the top were a little bit too deep. But then the other ones, those ones were kind of like a little bit more smooth, which, you know, again, for me, it's all a learning experience. But out of all of these, this one is definitely my favorite one. Definitely my favorite one. Don't know what I'm going to end up doing with these. I'll probably, you know, like just paste them, have like a little board and like have like a wall of chip carvings, and just have this like be the start of it. So like just start like kind of like have like a what is that, like a quilt, like a chip carving quilt, and just like figure out a way to just like connect all of these. I think that'll be nice. So like just like a big, so like at least for the start, just like a comparison of these. Let me see something actually. Yeah, you know, at least with this one, with the easy wood, it's fine. hold on, hold on. Let me do this off the table because I don't. Like, as easy as it is to just blow it off the table, like the ash and the sand and everything, I'd rather not have to. So there wasn't really much a big difference here. Let me see what this one is. This just dirt or? Let's try with this one, see if we can get rid of the lines in this one, or the remaining lines. So sandy. Yeah, it's a little better. A little bit better, but yeah. Again, all in all, this one definitely is my favorite. This one. But all of this is a part of learning. It's a part of picking up a new skill. And I cannot wait to see what I do more with this, you know? But yeah, definitely. So really like the way this one is. Eventually we'll start like we'll look into some like other like paints and stuff, just different ways to like make it pop and, you know, give it a little bit of color, see how that works out. But for now, I think that's good. That's good. So I will definitely be taking pictures of these final two products and, you know, find some inspirational quote about you know, I'll probably use my favorite, the expert in anything was once a beginner. And, you know, have like some motivational thing about how this was a really big learning experience of how to chip carve something new. But at least those are done. And I feel like I've learned the skill. So now, all we just gotta do is keep it up and practice, practice, practice. So yeah, we're just going to, before we call it a stream, I just wanna try some of these. So, I actually really wanna try these. Yeah, let's try this one. So I guess you just go back this way. We'll see. Oh, well. There we go. And this really isn't so bad. There we go. Actually came out way better than I thought it would. As we started cutting, I was like, maybe this one needs just a little bit more practice with this one. But no, this one actually is not bad. Let's do that. that little section out. All right. There we go. There we go. Interesting. And then I'll check, because the resource with my chip carving has a very wonderful resource where he goes over like these different cuts and whatnots. So just to kind of help me make sure that what they look like, that if they're really supposed to look like this, which, you know, quite honestly, I don't care because this one actually came out really nice. Now let's see. Yeah, and then for this one. I'm not even sure if I'm actually cutting this one out the way that it's supposed to be. Like if this is supposed to be like a full like if this is supposed to be like a full oval cutout, or if you're supposed to do like a kind of like a half crescent on each side. But this is our practice board. We can do whatever the heck we want with it, so that is exactly what we're going to do. Come on. Yeah, I could feel the little hump right there. There we go. Yeah. Part right there. And then let's get through here. There you are. Get on out of there. There you go. So what happens? Honestly, don't think that's what that's for. Yeah, no, we're supposed to just be practicing little oval grooves, because as I'm looking at these other ones, I was like, there's no way. So like for this one, I'm not sure if you can really see, but like for this one, there's no way you're supposed to do like oh, that cuts right down in the middle and then you cut like all those circle things. But yeah, no, these are looking like really good, you guys. Like, and that's, I'm not even trying to like pull my own leg and be like, oh, these, I'm doing really good. And you know, it's like, really, you're not doing good at all. Like, no, these are actually looking pretty good, at least to me. So I guess that is a pretty subjective kind of opinion. But I say if it looks good to me and I am my worst critic, you know, I can only imagine what someone else looking at it would probably think. Bam! Getting those little circulars out. Ooh, nice, nice. Okay. I mean, we've kind of done one of all of them, so let's do, so we did one of these bigger ones, one of these smaller ones. Let's do a crescent, only because, you know, what do? We always start with the inside. We're gonna do this one because it's kind of fading. So let's do this crescent one. Do that. There we go. We'll retrace over this one so that it actually comes out. Yep. Nope. All right. He's not ready. He was like, nope, try again, buddy. There we go. Sometimes you just have to edge it along the way. You have to make sure that it understands what the intent of this is. But no, even that, these are looking really good. And here's the thing. Again, those practice ones, we were cutting into those like well before we actually gained some sort of like skill. So we were actually cutting into those like when we really had no business cutting into them. But like, look at these cuts so far. Like, that line is superb. That line is sexy. And then look at these other ones. Like, look at that again. It kind of sucks. Dope posters in the background. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's kind of funny. If you've been here before and if you've been on the channel, you know that I play video games. So this is quite the transition. Quite the transition from what we usually do on this channel, but I'm trying something new. Video games. So it's like, basically we still do play video games. Like, I'm actually restreaming this to YouTube as well, which if you've ever been on my YouTube channel, it's kind of like, what is this? But I promise there's a method to all this madness. What games you be playing? So I play a lot of Destiny. I'm basically like variety. So like, I played Destiny, Call of Duty I've played a couple times, but mainly with Destiny. I've done Apex Legends as well. Just all the games. This is just something that I came across, and I'm like, oh, this actually seems pretty good, pretty relaxing. So I'm trying to mix up, you know, as they say, you know, mix up and diversify your content, try a little bit of different things. So, you know, we picked up wood chip carving, which is something I actually am increasingly growing fond of. But needless to say, I do have plans for this type of skill, for the things that I want to do, but all in good time. Before I start investing times into that plan and investing energy into that plan, I first need to learn how to do the skill. So that's mainly what these streams are for, especially on the Fridays. So we will... it's typically what we'll be doing. Eventually, down the line, once I can start, you know, mixing things up and, you know, managing everything, then we'll start going back to the video games and, you know, all that. But again, this is just something where I'm like, it's different, it's new, and I want to take everyone on that journey. But yes, but that is actually, I'm going to call it there. That is all we have for today. I'm thinking either next stream or the stream after that. You missed it at the beginning. I was telling like this really crazy story about like cameras and shipping and, you know, shipping horror stories and all that. But I'm investing in a better camera so that we can actually see what these, you know, what we are working on. Because right now, regular webcam is not, you know, it's doing its job for now, but I just know that there's a better way for us to, you know, really look at this and see what's going on. So I'm waiting for that to come through. Swag Monkey, thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate that. But we are waiting for the camera to come in first before we start getting into, you know, what I want to do, which is, you know, like different patterns, working on different patterns and, you know, having like a kind of particular twist to them so that they're not just boring, cutting into wood, but, you know, they're something that all of us can, you know, kind of relate to, depending on what you like. But until then, I'm not sure if that will be able to be resolved by next week, or if not next week, then definitely the week after that. But until then, please, if you see, oh, I don't have the scroll. Please go ahead, I'll put it in the chat. Please go ahead and make sure to follow me. I think it's in my, what's that, the underlay. Please go ahead, follow me on all my social channels. I do so where I regularly play video games and stream video games is on Facebook gaming. So I should have a link to my Facebook gaming page down below. So go ahead if you want to stop by there, give it a follow. It's basically the same thing as my Twitch URL, fb.gg/onesoloplayer1. Do not forget the one, because apparently some people like to be called one solo player and not use their account for money. months. So please go ahead, follow me there. And also, yeah, I got you, my guy. And then also, if you want to, keep up with me, I'm, pretty active on Twitter as well. And that one, I was fortunate to get just one solo player. So if you want to drop me a follow there, drop me a follow on all the social medias. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I thank you guys so much for stopping by and, watching me chip carve. This is, again, very fun for me. Definitely one of those activities where I'm like, yo, I'm going to invest as much energy as I can into this, because some of the works and some of the things that you can do with chip carving is absolutely insane, absolutely beautiful. I want to do it. I'm going to do it. Just takes a little bit of time. But in the end, again, thank you guys so much. We're going to call it there. And I will hopefully see you in either the next one or any of the streams, or see you on social. So thank you so much. Catch you in the next one.